How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give my review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event, Quake by the Lake, from tonight, which is August 10th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Darby Allin versus Brody King in a Coffin match. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Darby Allin went over because Darby Allin knocked Brody King in the coffin and shut the door. Match 2, it was Andrade El Idolo and Rush versus the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta El Cerro Miedo, in a tornado tag team match. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Andrade El Idolo and Rush went over cause Andrade El Idolo pinned Rey Fenix with the El Idolo. Match 3, it was Luchasaurus versus Anthony Henry. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Luchasaurus went over with the fossilizer. Now after the match, Christian Cage appeared on the Titantron and congratulated Luchasaurus on his win and talked about how the reason why he didn't come out and knock the headset off Jungle Boy and beat the shit out of him is because the idiots of Minneapolis, Minnesota don't deserve to see it and everything. And then Jungle Boy went backstage and was searching for Christian Cage, and Jungle Boy tried to attack Jungle Boy tried to attack Christian Cage, but the security guards held Jungle Boy back and Christian Cage retreated, and then Luchasaurus came along and beat the shit out of all the security guards. And then Pat Buck came along to try to calm Luchasaurus down, but Luchasaurus attacked Pat Buck with a headbutt and laid him out, and then Jungle Boy told the officials to check on Pat Buck and everything, and then Jungle Boy ended up retreating and looking for and chasing after Christian Cage while Luchasaurus was looking on and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. That was match 3, by the way. Match 4, it was Ricky Starks versus Aaron Solo. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Ricky Starks went over with the spear. Now, after the match, Nick Camarado came down to the ring and tried to attack Ricky Starks with a steel chair, but Ricky Starks countered it, and Ricky Starks executed the spine buster on Nick Camarado. Well, Aaron Solo attacked Ricky Starks from behind and beat the shit out of him, and then Aaron Solo tried to hold Ricky Starks down so Nick Camarado could attack Ricky Starks, but Ricky Starks headbutted Aaron Solo, and then Nick moved out of the way, and Nick Camarado accidentally attacked Aaron Solo, but then Ricky Starks retreated, and QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo tried to attack Ricky Starks, but Ricky Starks retreated through the crowd, and Powerhouse Hobbs was backstage and tore the monitor and everything, pissed off and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. That was match 4, by the way. Match 5, it was Jade Cargill versus Madison Rayne for the TBS Women's title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jade Cargill went over and retained the TBS Women's title with the Jaded. Now, after the match, as Jade Cargill was celebrating her TBS Women's title victory, Athena came into the ring and attacked Jade Cargill, beating the shit out of her, and then Kiera Hogan grabbed Jade Cargill and pulled her out of the ring, and Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan were on stage, and Athena was in the ring, and a stare down occurred between Jade Cargill along with Kiera Hogan and Athena and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. And that was match 5, by the way. And match 6, which was the main event, it was Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho for the interim AEW title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jon Moxley went over and retained the interim AEW title with the Bulldog choke. Now, after the match, Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara came out and beat the shit out of Jon Moxley, and then Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Eddie Kingston, and Ortiz came out to even the odds and were beating the shit out of Jake Hager, were beating the shit out of Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara. Then Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Daniel Garcia came out to attack Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Eddie Kingston, and Ortiz, and then a brawl ensued between the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, along with Eddie Kingston and Ortiz, against the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. And as the brawl was going on, CM Punk came out and cleaned house and beat the shit out of all the Jericho Appreciation Society members and laid them out and everything. And then Jon Moxley, and then CM Punk and Jon Moxley had a stare down and everything, and then Jon Moxley flipped CM Punk off and left the ring, and Jon Moxley celebrated with Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Eddie Kingston, and Ortiz. And then as the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, went backstage along with Eddie Kingston and Ortiz, CM Punk stood tall in the ring and everything. That was cool. And that was after the match, by the way. And that was match 6 and the main event, by the way. Now, besides the matches, Jon Moxley cut a promo talking about how he's going to be facing the Lionheart Chris Jericho, and how that's the Chris Jericho he wants to face, and how he's going to beat the shit out of Chris Jericho and retain the interim AEW title and everything. That was cool. Chris Jericho cut a promo talking about how the Lionheart Chris Jericho has returned, and how he was the last surviving member of the Hart family dungeon, and talked about how Stu Hart was a sadist and everything, and talked about how he was going to destroy Jon Moxley and win the interim AEW title and everything. That was cool. The Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, along with Brandon Cutler, confronted Hangman Page and the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Ten. And John Silver made a comment about Brandon Cutler with BTE and everything, and then Evil Uno asked if Hangman Page and the Young Bucks wanted them to leave to give them a moment and everything, but Hangman Page told him to stay. Well, the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, confronted Hangman Page. Well, Matt Jackson brought up that Hangman Page used to be a really good friend of theirs, and how they traveled the world together, and how they started AEW together, and how Hangman Page won the AEW title in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and talked about how he was so proud of him and everything, and talked about how him and his brother Nick Jackson were shitty friends to Hangman Page and everything, and then Nick Jackson agreed and everything, and then Matt Jackson asked Hangman Page to be their partner against Andrade El Idolo, Rush, and Dragon Lee next week on AEW Dynamite, in the AEW Trios title quarterfinal match. Well, Hangman Page was saying, you know, Matt and Nick, I would love to, but you guys have not proven to me that you're my real friends. These guys of the Dark Order have proven to me that they're my real friends. And they're going to be in the tournament too. So, since they've had my back, I'm going to return the favor and I'm going to have their back. So, I cannot team with you, with the two of you. I'm sorry. And then Nick Jackson understood it, and then Matt Jackson said, I understand, Hangman. Do what you got to do. I understand. And then the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, along with Brandon Cutler, were leaving the locker room, and Brandon Cutler was saying, guys, I think Hangman was referring to me as your all's partner. Matt Jackson said, shut up, Brandon, turn off the camera, and everything. That was cool. Miro cut a promo talking about how he visited hell and how it was empty and how the darkness has consumed him and how he was going to use that darkness to take out the pagans of the House of Black, which are Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. And as Miro was going on about it, Julia Hart came along and said, Miro, why don't you just give in to it like I did? And then Miro said, number one, only one woman can touch me, and that's not you. And as I said, I'm going to use this darkness that overpowers me, and I'm going to take out the pagans of the House of Black, and I am going to return them to my God, and everything. That was cool. Mark Henry interviewed Powerhouse Hobbs. Well, Mark Henry brought up that Powerhouse Hobbs attacked Ricky Starks last week on AEW Dynamite and was getting ready to ask him some questions, but the Factory, which are QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, Nick Camarado, Anthony Ogogo, and Cole Carter came along, and QT Marshall was saying, hold up, Mark. It's not Will Hobbs, it's Powerhouse Hobbs. And I'm going to say this right now. Hobbs, since you attacked Ricky Starks last week, I want you to join the Factory. So what do you say? Powerhouse Hobbs said, I don't want my problem to be your problem. Then Powerhouse Hobbs left, and Mark Henry and the Factory, which are QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, Nick Camarado, Anthony Ogogo, and Cole Carter, were looking on and everything. That was cool. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh came out to the ring, and Sanjay Dutt got on the microphone, and Sanjay Dutt was talking about how he's been fired up since Battle of the Belts 3, and how nobody was able to take down Wardlow, but talked about how Satnam Singh picked Wardlow up 20 feet in the air and executed the choke slam through the table and everything. And then Jay Lethal was saying, Wardlow, how about you give me another shot at the AEW TNT title? And if you don't, Sanjay, Satnam, and myself, we're going to come look for you, and we're going to take the AEW TNT title from you. Well, Wardlow came out, and Wardlow had the microphone and cut a promo saying, Jay Lethal, you want a shot at my AEW TNT title? Well, you got it. Now, before that happens, I'm going to beat all your asses tonight. Well, Wardlow went down to the ring, and as Wardlow was going down to the ring, FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, came out and was on the side of Wardlow and as Wardlow and FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, came down to the ring, got in the ring, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh retreated, and Jay Lethal ended up getting into the ring, and as Jay Lethal was in the ring, Wardlow punched Jay Lethal in the face, and as Jay Lethal got punched in the face by Wardlow, FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, executed the big rig on Jay Lethal and laid him out. Jay Lethal went out of the ring, and Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh helped Jay Lethal backstage. And as that was going on, Wardlow and FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, stood tall and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Anna. Tony Schiavone interviewed the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Anna Jay. And Tony Schiavone brought up about Chris Jericho going after Jon Moxley in the main event of AEW Dynamite's Quake by the Lake for the interim AEW title. And as Tony Schiavone was trying to speak, Angelo Parker said, "Shut up, Tony. I'm going to say this right now. Tonight, the Jericho Appreciation Society are going to be on top." And everything. And then Matt Menard said, "'Cause tonight, our boss, Chris Jericho, is going to win the interim AEW title, and the Jericho Appreciation Society are going to celebrate." And everything. Daniel Garcia was saying, "Bryan Danielson, I have put you to sleep. I have beaten you. I have saved you. And I made you have another paid vacation at home in your garden. And I have slayed the dragon, and I will continue to do so the more you come at me, Bryan Danielson." And everything. And then Anna Jay was saying, "Now I will say this. If you don't think Anna Jay was pointing over to woman. Anna Jay was saying, "And you, if you don't think Daniel Garcia is the Dragon Slayer, I'm going to choke you out." Then Anna Jay ended up choking some woman out with the Queen Slayer and everything, as Tony Schiavone and the rest of the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker, were looking on and everything. That was cool. AEW aired a vignette of the build-up of the match between Ricky Starks and Aaron Solo. That was cool. Lexi Nair interviewed the Gunn Club, which are Billy, Colton, and Austin Gunn. Well, Lexi Nair brought up that the Gunn Club lost to the Acclaimed on AEW Rampage in the dumpster match, and asked what the Gunn Club's plans were going forward. Well, Billy Gunn was saying, "Lexi, let me take care of this. Boys, I'm very disappointed in you, because you made asses of yourselves, and lost in a match that I created. You boys, you're going to have to toughen up. This is why I missed the Acclaimed." And as Billy Gunn could continue to talk, Stokely Hathaway appeared and said, "Now, Billy Gunn, it's past your bedtime. Go to catering, drink some Ensure, get a good night's sleep, because that's what you need, old man." And then Stokely Hathaway had 2 business cards and were trying to give them to Colton and Austin Gunn. And as Stokely Hathaway was trying to give his business cards to Colton and Austin Gunn, Billy Gunn took the business cards and said, "Stokely, shut the hell up, get the hell out of here, and stay out of our business. Understand?" And Stokely Hathaway said, "Okay, okay." And then Stokely Hathaway left, and then Billy Gunn was talking more shit, and as Billy Gunn was talking more shit, Danhausen appeared and said, "Ass boys, I have come here to tell you that Friday night on AEW Rampage, Quake By The Lake, you two are going to face me and a partner of my choosing on Rampage," and everything. And then Danhausen tried to touch Austin Gunn, and Austin Gunn said, "Don't touch me, dude." And then the Gunn Club, which are Billy, Colton, and Austin Gunn, left, and then Danhausen was looking on and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. Well, Tony Schiavone asked Orange Cassidy, Tony Schiavone said, "Orange Cassidy, you said you had something up tonight. What is it?" Well, Orange Cassidy was giving high fives to Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, and as that was going on, the Trust Busters, which are Ari Daivari, Slim J, and Parker Boudreaux, appeared, and Ari Daivari said, "Orange Cassidy, just the man I was looking for. Just the man I'm looking for. I have been trying to call you. I've been trying to text you. I have been trying to get a hold of you on social media, but you're not returning any of it. Why? Because I am offering you a spot in the Trust Busters. So what do you say, Orange Cassidy?" Orange Cassidy said, "Whatever you're offering to me, my answer is no." Ari Daivari said, "Well, Orange Cassidy, have it your way. Because the more you hang out with these two losers, the less success you're going to have in your career. And Friday night on AEW Rampage Quake by the Lake, you and I are going to be facing off in a match. And I will say this, I am going to teach you a lesson of why you never say no to Ari Daivari and everything." That was cool. And Tony Schiavone interviewed Thunderstorm, which are Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. Well, Tony Schiavone brought up that Chris Statlander has suffered an injury, and Tony Storm is now the number one contender for the AEW Women's title. And Thunder Rosa was saying, well, a lot of times these situations happen, but I still respect you, Tony Storm. You're a really good friend of mine. But when it comes to this AEW Women's title, the friendship has to be put aside. And Tony Storm was saying, well, I never thought that this situation would happen, Rosa. But it did. And I am going to do whatever it takes to be the AEW Women's Champion. And next Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite, I am going to be in action. But I am still going to root you on. And then Thunder Rosa was saying, I'll be rooting you on as well, Tony Storm. And everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Taz, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. Tony Schiavone done commentary along with Jim Ross, Taz, and Excalibur throughout the whole show, all but the matches of Luchasaurus versus Anthony Henry and Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho for the interim AEW title. Tony Schiavone done awesome as usual. Jungle Boy done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Taz, and Excalibur during the match between Luchasaurus versus Anthony Henry. Jungle Boy did great on guest commentary, and William Regal done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Taz, and Excalibur during the match between Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho for the interim AEW title. William Regal done great on guest commentary. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Bryce Remsburg and Stephon Smith refereed the match between Darby Allin versus Brody King in a Coffin match. Rick Knox refereed the match between Andrade El Idolo and Rush versus the Lucha Brothers in a Tornado Tag Team match. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Luchasaurus versus Anthony Henry. Paul Turner refereed the match between Ricky Starks versus Aaron Solo. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Jade Cargill versus Madison Rayne for the TBS Women's title. And Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho for the interim AEW title. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Quake by the Lake, it's going to be Eric Redbeard and Dan Housen versus the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn. Orange Cassidy versus Ari Daivari. Sonny Kiss versus Parker Boudreaux. And Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Dante Martin and... The match card... The match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Quake by the Lake, Friday night, it's going to be Eric Redbeard and Dan Housen versus the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn. Orange Cassidy versus Ari Daivari. Sonny Kiss versus Parker Boudreaux. And Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Dante Martin and Sky Blue for the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles. Now, besides the matches that have been announced, Bryan Danielson will be appearing live, Hook will be appearing live, and Swerve and Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, will be appearing live. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Quake by the Lake, Friday night, looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And the match card that's been announced for... And the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night, so far that's been announced, it's going to be Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. The Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, and a mystery partner versus Andrade El Idolo, Rush, and Dragon Lee in an AEW Trios title quarterfinal match. And Tony Storm versus Kylan King. Those are the matches that have been... So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And just to let y'all know, All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite Wednesday night will be held in Charleston, West Virginia, in my home state. And I will be attending AEW Dynamite live. And I can't wait for it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give my review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite special event, Quake by the Lake, from tonight, which is August 10th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish, and with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.